Hello! What's going on, everybody? As you all know, the Conference League draw has happened for the round of 16 matchups coming up, and this round's actually very exciting. Lots of unpredictable matchups. The playoff round previous to this was also very interesting. Let's take a look at my predictions from that before we get into the round of 16s. Let's start off with the first match, PSV versus Tel Aviv. In the first leg, I'm going to say PSV win 2-0, and the second one, they win 1-0. Now moving on to the next matchup, a flip of a coin one, Fenerbahce versus Slavia Praha. I'm going to say the first match finishes in a 1-1 draw. It's all down to that second leg where Slavia Praha will grab a 1-0 win. Next matchup, Rapid Wien versus Vitesse. In the first leg, we'll see a 2-2 draw, and in the second one, we'll see Vitesse win 2-1. Next up, Midtjylland versus PAOK. I'm going to say in the first leg, it finishes in a 0-0 draw, and in the second one, we see a tiny upset where PAOK come out on top with a 1-0 win. Now for Leicester City versus Randers. I'll say in the first leg, Leicester grab a 3-1 win, and then the second leg, it finishes 1-1, but they'll still be celebrating at the end. Now for Marseille versus Qarabag. Marseille draw with Qarabag 1-1 in France, but then in the second fixture, when they're away, they will grab a 2-1 win, so they'll cut it close, but they'll make it to the next round. Next up, Sparta Praha versus Partizan. First matchup, we'll see Sparta Praha only grab a 1-0 win at home, and then when they gotta go to Serbia, Partizan will have high hopes, but it will only finish 0-0. Sparta Praha going through to the next round. Now the final matchup, we're looking at Celtic versus Bodo/Glimt. I'll say the first match finishes 3-2, and then when they have to go to Norway, it will finish 2-2. Damn, so only the last two predictions I did in that video were wrong. 6 out of 8 in total correct. I'll take it, honestly, especially with some of the ballsy picks I did decide to go with. And obviously, I'm very happy that Partizan proved me wrong. Also, Bodo Glimt was spectacular against Celtic. Props to this team. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't have doubted them after the Roma win in the group stage, but still, they showed their class in the 2 legs against a side that's very in form right now, so bravo. So yeah, my Europa League playoffs were 6 out of 8, Conference League 6 out of 8. Hopefully, we could shoot for a 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 8 in the round of 16s. It's going to be tricky, though. I think these matchups are harder to predict. We'll see how it goes, though. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So starting off big already, Partizan versus Feyenoord. Despite Partizan's amazing triumph against Sparta Praha, I think they got unlucky in this draw. Feyenoord are a very solid side. They sit at 3rd right now in the Dutch league, and they got no losses in their Conference League group against not so easy opponents, to be fair. This side has obviously had its slips, and Partizan look like they're on the right track. However, in the Belgrade Derby against Crvena Zvezda, they did just lose. It was a 2-0 loss, but despite that loss, Partizan still sit at the top of the Serbian league. Crvena Zvezda is right behind them, though, only a 2-point gap. You really could go on a lot of positives about both of the sides here. The one reason why I'm worried about Partizan, though, is that in the first leg, they will be missing their striker. Ricardo Gomez got a red card after scoring a brace against Slavia Praha in the second leg. It was a pretty ridiculous red card, but hey, Stacic. Partizan still have a lot of quality, though, and could have the heart and determination to get to the next round. I think it's going to be insanely close of a matchup, actually. I'm going to say in the first leg, it ends in a draw. 0-0. In the second leg, we'll see some goals from both sides. I'll say that Partizan grab a 2-1 win with the Ricardo Gomez return. Things could go their way even if they're away. They beat Slavia Praha away. Why couldn't they beat Feyenoord away? I understand Feyenoord is a very strong side. People might be saying I'm biased here, but I'm going for a potential upset. Good luck to Partizan. We'll see what happens, though. Next up, Slavia Praha versus LASK. In the Austrian league, LASK is not doing so well. They're in 8th place right now. And Slavia Praha, man, I've praised this side a lot. I expect them to beat Fenerbahce, even though it was a tough task, and they did it. Slavia Praha do just have that kind of charm in these European competitions. They could eventually crash, but I do think they're one of the stronger teams. I think LASK got unlucky in this draw. I see some people get upset that I always doubt the Austrian teams, and I hate to do you guys dirty, but I just think Slavia Praha is the stronger team. Maybe we can see an upset here, but I'm going to go for Slavia Praha winning in both legs. In the first one, when they're at home, I'm going to say it finishes 2-0. And the second one, when they're away, it's only going to be 1-0. Good luck to both of the teams in this matchup. Now for Vitesse versus Roma. Despite Vitesse's questionable form at times, they were able to beat Rapid Wien, which is massive. Rapid Wien are actually a very impressive side. And now they're coming up against one of the favorites in this competition. We have seen Roma obviously slip throughout the year. Maybe Roma can crash in this competition. competition, but I don't think it's going to be this soon. Maybe Vitesse can scare them in one of the legs, but I think Roma can finish the job. Roma didn't even play in the previous playoff round because they got first place, and Tammy Abraham is the top goal scorer still. Sorry, Vitesse, but I don't want to doubt Roma here. I'm going to say in the first leg, it's going to be a narrow 1-0 win for Roma. And in the second one, we'll see Roma come out stronger in Italia. I'll say it finishes 3-1. We'll see. Good luck to Vitesse. It's going to be a challenge for sure. Next up, PAOK versus Ghent. Ghent are 5th in the Belgian league, but they obviously bossed their Conference League group. Meanwhile, PAOK, you got to applaud this side. They were able to beat Midtjylland on penalties in the last playoff round, and they're not doing too badly in the Greek league. This matchup is a flip of a coin. Many people might be saying Ghent could make it out on top, but you can't doubt PAOK anymore clearly, especially after their amazing result against Midtjylland. I'm going to say in the first leg, PAOK get a 1-0 win in Greece, and then the second leg, it finishes 1-1. Not enough for Ghent. It's going to be very close, and I'm on the fence about this one. I truly am. Very, very much a flip of a coin matchup. Yeah, I'm going with PAOK going on top on this one, but barely. Next up, PSV versus Copenhagen. Copenhagen got first in their Europa League group. They're in first in the Danish league. Meanwhile, PSV is second in the Dutch league, and their performances in these European tournaments this year have not been going to plan. I mean, they're one of the favorites in their Europa League group, and they crashed to third, being in this competition, the Conference League instead, and they had to play Tel Aviv in the playoffs, and that matchup was very close. So another flip of a coin matchup here, as Copenhagen obviously look like they're very much in form, and even though PSV have been shaky, we still cannot ignore their amazing quality on this team. Very iffy about this one for sure, but in the first leg, I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Copenhagen. Yes, I know they're away. And then the second leg, I'm going for a PSV 3-1 win where they complete a magnificent comeback. I keep changing my mind about this match as it's truly a flip of a coin. Next up, Bodo Glimt versus AZ Alkmaar. Now, as I talked about, Bodo Glimt were exceptional in the playoff round against Celtic. Meanwhile, AZ Alkmaar bossed their group with no losses. Alkmaar probably looking like the favorites on paper. But how are we going to ignore what Bodo Glimt have done in this competition? Honestly, don't want to doubt them again. I'm going to say in the first leg, Bodo Glimt win 3-1. And then the second leg, they do struggle a bit. Alkmaar grab a 1-0 win, but it won't be enough for the Dutch side. Bodo Glimt go through. 3-2 on aggregate. I know it's probably not the same prediction as yours, but I could see Bodo Glimt upsetting another team in this and having a decent run in this competition. I don't know about winning the whole thing, but I think they can get out of the round of 16s. We'll see though. Now for Leicester City versus Rennes. Rennes were obviously exceptional in their Conference League group. Obviously, they didn't play their last match against Tottenham, but they still didn't lose to them the first time they played each other. They're currently at 4th in the competitive French league. I wouldn't say Leicester City are the clear favorites in this. Despite the hype they obviously get, they're not doing the best in the Premier League. So definitely going to be an interesting one and a big test for Leicester, as Rennes have been looking very, very good in this competition. Leicester had to play Randers in the playoff round last time, and I think they truly got lucky in that draw, even though they smashed them. They could be motivated in this. I don't think it's going to be easy for them though. I'm going to say the first leg is going to be very high scoring and another draw. I know I've been calling a lot of draws in this, but I'm going to say 3-3. And then the second leg, I'm going to say Rennes win 1-0 in France. Definitely an absurd prediction here, I know. And I feel like a lot of people are banking on Leicester City. In my last prediction, I said I thought Leicester would beat Randers, but I doubted how far they could go next. I think Rennes will be a tough task for them personally, but I won't be surprised if I'm wrong. Good luck to Leicester City. But let's move on to the final matchup we're looking at today. Marseille versus Basel. The Swiss side isn't looking at its peak right now. They aren't doing terribly in the Swiss league, but 3rd place. And when you compare it to Marseille's domestic league success this year, they're at 2nd in the French league. And obviously the Swiss side was able to top their group in the Conference League with no losses, a claim I made for many matchups, but to be honest, in this group, I think that was their expectation. But yeah, I think Marseille has what it takes in this round of 16 matchup. In the first leg, I'm going to say it finishes 3-1, and in the second leg in Switzerland, I'll say it finishes 1-0 for Marseille. Winning both legs, yes, but good luck to Basel. Anyways, guys, those are all my Conference League round of 16 predictions. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Also, the World Cup qualifiers are coming up pretty soon, so I'll obviously be doing a lot of coverage on that. Make sure you stay tuned for all of that. Thank you all for making it to the end. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care. La Noche.